Hello, welcome to Lunch with Lee. Let me get Instagram going a little bit, and we should be live there too. Awesome. Well, today, as I look outside, there's actually snow falling, so I'm kind of dating this. A lot of people watch these videos after they go live, but that's where we're at. Snow's falling outside. It's really unusual in Houston to see that. I know in Beaumont too. I just came from there. Came from Lake Charles through Beaumont, stopped there for a little while. Yeah, looking at new markets, looking at what we can do. But the thing that I was asked to do today, because the last 3 or 4 days, with the freeze coming, with the snow coming, everybody is kind of, I need someone here now. And any quality company at this point is basically going to be booking out some. So when there's so many people calling in, there's no way to move your capacity up with well-trained people. So it's really important to make sure that when you call someone, they're like, oh yeah, that's what happened to us the last 4 times, is I can be there tomorrow, today. I can be there really, really fast. And your antenna should go up like, hey, what's going on? Not that someone could have canceled. Maybe you called in at the perfect time. It can happen to us too. But the question is this actually an actual chimney company? Or is this someone taking advantage of the situation? Because what I've had lots and lots of people asking me is, hey, I've scheduled these people to come to my house. Can you do some research to figure out if they're good or bad? And now I am not judge, jury, and executioner of chimney companies. So what I'm about to teach you is not, I present facts and then I let customers come to their own conclusions on whether it's good, whether it's bad. But I can teach you some of those facts I look up when it comes to other chimney companies. So, but just keep in mind, some of this is not, it is true. It is a fact, but does it mean it's good or bad? I don't know. Sometimes it's obviously bad, but it's just, what are you comfortable with? And we do the same thing with fireplaces and chimneys. We present you with the facts. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is what code says. This is how it should. These are the things that can happen due to this. But eventually they're like, hey, should I use this or should I not? And we can give you an opinion, but it's just not an opinion. You may go, oh, well, I think it's okay, I'm going to use it. And you may use it, which is okay. And you're just taking more risk. It's like driving without a seatbelt. And I get there's a law that says you can't. But because you drive without a seatbelt doesn't mean you instantaneously die. It means it's more likely for bad things to happen if something goes awry. So same thing goes with fireplaces. But let me present to you how I look at other chimney companies. The first thing I do when someone says, hey, check out this company for me, is I do a Google search. It's the easiest thing. I read reviews and I can tell you, are the good reviews good or are they bad? I can tell you most commonly, when was the company kind of started? Sometimes you can go to their website and go to the bottom and look at, it'll tell you a date. You can even go to certain websites and see when the domain name was bought. Like the last one I did was bought 6 months ago. So is that good or bad? I don't know. It just means that this individual website is not, it hasn't been around for years. Does it mean the company's been around for years? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they changed domain names. I can make some excuses, but the facts is the domain name I looked at had only been around for 6 years. So said. Then I go to their website, okay, it's 6 months old, and I start searching their pictures on Google Lens, and I start searching some of their verbiage. Are there mirrored websites in other places? Or are they using pictures from other companies where they don't have permission? Because it's very common. We've had people who literally steal the verbiage from our website to the point where they put it on their website and they forget to edit out our name. So it still says Lord's Chimney in the middle of their website. So that is obviously a little not good because they're stealing copyright, information. But look around, see if their website's duplicated. The one I just looked at had another company in Maryland that had the exact same website. At the bottom of this website for this company, it also had a spot in a paragraph where it said call, and then in parentheses said put your company number here. So once again, does not make it good or bad, just means someone didn't look at it very closely. So also, and this is obvious, but I look at it every time. I usually don't even mention it. Look at the phone number. If it is a 1-800 number, I get a little leery. If it is a number from out of the city, whether you're Beaumont, whether you're Houston, those are our two markets, but anywhere. If it is a number from out of, where you live. Now, granted, I think Houston has 5 different, area codes. But if it's not a Houston number and it's a Houston business, I get a little leery. Doesn't mean it's bad, but just a little leery. Or if you're in Beaumont and it's a number from out of the city, and it could be totally legitimate. So that's next. The next thing I do is I call them. So do they answer the phone? And when they answer the phone, there's some questions to ask. Number 1, ask how much. How much is a clean? How much is an inspection? Just get a feel of how do you feel when you talk to them? So also ask, what is included in an inspection? Because often it's just a visual inspection, which, and in the actual chimney world, yes, that is an inspection, but normally if you show up at a new house and you've never been there before, you're going to do what's called a level 2 inspection. And that's the official term. Sometimes they don't do all of a level 2 inspection, but what is a level 2 inspection? It means they're going to go up on the roof. They're going to take pictures. They're going to give you a report with pictures. They're going to use a camera system inside the chimney to look around to make sure it hasn't been struck by lightning. You can see how dirty it is, and the customer can see what you're talking about too. So be very, very aware of what is this inspection. A lot of times when someone shows up with a sedan and has no ladders, they're not educated at all. And when it comes to education, the question is, do you have certifications? So in the chimney industry, there is no licensing. It's not like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, all that stuff. There's no licensing at all. So my next door neighbor can become a chimney company in 1 second and go out with no education at all. The dangerous thing about what most people say is, I call a lot of these companies and they all say they're certified, all of them. You have certified technicians? Absolutely, we're certified. Who certifies you? You'll start to hear weird stories like, oh, I don't know. Or, oh, we have an in-house certification program. That kind of thing. So how do I know these technicians actually know basic code? How do they know? And granted, a certification does not mean you can do your job well. It means you can pass a test. So I've hired people who have certifications that know nothing and are bad at their job. I have also hired people who don't have certifications that know a lot and just can't pass a test, have some learning disability, something like that. We've been able to help them through that process just so they can prove their knowledge. But be very aware. What certifications do they have? Everybody's going to say they're certified. The certifying agencies that are actually real are CSIA, Chimney Safety Institute of America. That's a certification. NCSG, the National Chimney Sweep Guild, they have a certified technician. That's our people have both, or some have one, some have another. NFI, National Fireplace Institute. That's more for installs, but a lot into the gas side. But look for certifying agencies. Do some research. Go to the certifying agency's website. Bring up who's actually certified, because the guy that shows up at your house should actually be the certified person, right? And I give this a grain of salt too, because if they were certified and it just ran out last month and just they have to retest or anything else, there can be some exceptions in my mind to this rule. We've had that before where we paid the recertifying agency to recertify it. Somehow paperwork got mixed up and we didn't even know 3 months in that this person wasn't certified, and they just post-date it and everything's good. So once again, not judge, jury, executioner, but are they certified? Is there anybody in their company that's even certified? Now, if there's a person in a different city that's certified and they send out someone who's untrained to your house, I don't know, not the best. Other things I do, go to their website, go to anywhere you can see online, their Google listings, find an address if there's an address listed. Is it an actual location? Is it an actual address, or do they just make something up? The one I researched yesterday, I went to the actual address and it was a male wellness clinic. I walked in and asked, hey, do you know of, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put people on blast, but this chimney company. And they were like, who, what's going on? They kind of giggled. And the answer is I showed them the website with their address listed on it, and they called them to get them to take it down. So be aware, if they're using fake addresses, if it's apartment complexes, granted, at the same time, if it's an apartment complex or a residential house, maybe the person that lives there actually runs the company, which is against Google's guidelines, but at least that's a little more legit. But how do you know? Because a lot of these are just fake addresses. Google likes when the address is close to the customers. It shows up in the algorithm a little higher. So a lot of people are picking a ton of fake addresses, or it's not a company at all. It's all fake. We have an office in Houston. We have an office in Beaumont. It's an actual address. In Houston, we're always there. In Beaumont, it's appointment only because we meet there, we interview there, we do everything else, but we don't have people there full time. But just look at the address. Does it look weird? Is it a firehouse? Is it a library? Is it a high-rise building? Google's guidelines say it's supposed to be an address with a sign. It's supposed to be an actual business, not just a house. So look at addresses, see if that looks weird. You can even call them up and ask them what's going on with their addresses to see if there's a logical reason, because it could be, and we have an address like this too, where it's an address where we've moved to a new address, but it's still active and we leave it, but we have a new address that we've moved to. So do some research, figure out if it's correct or not. The one of the other things you can do is look on the BBB. This is not judge, jury, executioner at all, but if they have negative reviews, look how they responded to them. The thing I would look for is, one, are they listed on the BBB? Because most people are who are solid companies. Not that they're accredited, but just listed. Another thing is look at their complaints. We just talked about that. But if they were BBB accredited and that accreditation's been revoked for some reason, that's a little more impactful. So look at what it says. Look at their results. You can call them and ask them about it. But look at what it says. Just be aware. The next thing, many chimney companies will book appointments, and the person who goes out has nothing to do with the actual company you actually called. So they use subcontractors, they use, or they have a ton of different affiliate company names. The one I just researched was a carpet cleaning company that 4 months ago started a Chimney website that then uses an address that's a male wellness clinic. And once again, I'm not judging, but this is all facts. So just go to the website, and this one on the BBB was not listed at all. Because the customer called me and said they felt weird because they called a chimney company, and then the receipt was a different company. So also be aware, if the trucks don't have logos that match the company you called, something's off. If the invoices you have are all handwritten, where there's not actual printed invoice, or has a different company name at the top, stuff like that, or if they're not willing to give you any information, if they want cash only, that's another clue that something's a little bit off. We accept cash, but when you push for a cash, or I'll give you a discount if you're paying cash, not that it's all wrong, because I get that, look, credit cards have fees associated with them, but be very, very aware of the side deals. The employee who's working on the side that has no insurance. If something goes wrong, if they get hurt at your job site, your insurance could have to pay for them. So the next one is ask for insurance. So if you just say, do you have insurance? They're going to say yes. Just like the certification question. They're going to say yes every time. And they could just mean, I have personal car insurance. And do you have insurance? Yes, I have insurance. But is it correct insurance for an actual business? And is it actually active? Because there have been companies in the past that I've done research on that get general liability insurance, $1 million policy, which is pretty standard. Some of them get less, but ours is $2 million. But they'll get their certificate, and then they'll cancel it and then use that certificate over and over and over again. So doing even more research, drill into, does this company even have insurance? Do they have workers' compensation insurance? If someone gets hurt at my job site, because general liability does not cover that stuff. So if they have if you have people at your house that get hurt, are they covered? There's also different things for professional liability. That's what we have too. It's expensive, and that's why things cost more when you work with us often. Not always, but you can't argue with math. It takes money to do things correctly. We have to do it correctly. That's what we do. But professional liability insurance is if they come out and they do an inspection and they blatantly miss something, like a doctor, like anything else, are you covered from basically kind of negligence? So we have that too. We also work really, really hard, and that's why we can run our rates down lower, because we train our people, we certify our people, we make sure they're actually know what they're doing. We also do a ton of quality control, where we have a system where you can take pictures, they call, we double check things. We record phone calls coming in, we record at customers, and we let customers know. At customer's house, we record so we can do quality control checks. It's very, very important to make sure, but that is work it's the insurance to make sure you know what you're doing. If you make a mistake, not in repairs, but in inspection, it covers that. Also, a lot of general liability insurance don't cover hazardous materials. So we have to have a hazardous material rider, because the soot inside fireplaces is considered a hazardous material. So if something were to go wrong and the house were to get sooted with soot, some general liability will cover it, some general liability won't. So double checking that you have everything. But what I'm trying to get at is to have proper insurance, to make sure your customers are properly covered. It's a lot, it's expensive, and it's complex. So ask in general. I'm not saying they have to have everything we have. We're covered because we truly believe in doing everything in a first-class way. That's what our customers expect. So that's what we do. But ask for insurance, ask to see it. And then call the company and make sure it is active. So the things we've been over, BBB, if they have an address, make sure if they don't have an address, what's going on. That's real common in service companies, that they're working out of their house and they may not want that listed. So I get that. But what kind of company do you want? Do you want someone who works out of their house, or do you want someone who actually has an actual physical location that gives them more stability? Other things, certifications, make sure the person who comes out actually works for the company that actually you called, logoed vans, certifications, uniforms, that kind of thing. It's kind of hard this time of year because some people don't. Our rule is we have to have a logo on the outside. That doesn't always get followed, even though we push it. But make sure that they have some way of notifying you of what's going on. Call the office, ask questions, get a gut feel of whether these people are actually legit. Ask them what's included for what your price is. Get prices before you come to. Because one I went that I just researched, it's supposed to come out for $50, ended up costing $400. We would have been cheaper than them, right? And I don't know, from what the customer tells me, they really didn't do a great job. They were there for less than 2 minutes and charged her. Shined a flashlight around, never went up on the roof. She got a weird feel. She kind of wanted out, but paid them to go away. So be very, very aware. All these things, not that one of them is necessarily a horrible thing, but know what you're getting before they show up at your house. Another one that I didn't mention that's really, really important. Are they background checking their employees? Are they drug testing? Everybody's going to say yes, but the question is, do they actually do it? There's a lot of companies that will say that and not do it. They'll say, we're insured, licensed, and bonded. Guess what? There is no licensing in our industry. And bonded for what? Normally, you have to bond each individual job for what you're doing to make sure if you can't finish, that it will actually finish. That's usually done in big commercial jobs, huge jobs, but on smaller scale, it's not generally done. So when you see bonded, licensed, and insured, that's just a phrase that people say. It's not actually true. Sorry, I know this video is going a lot longer, but right now with what's going on, I've got a lot of customers calling who have gotten taken advantage of, and I don't really like it. So if you want me to do some of this stuff, I don't mind calling for people. Go through Facebook, go through Instagram, send us some messages, email us, set up a virtual appointment, send me the pictures they took, their invoices if they've already been to your house. I will vet them as best I can. Once again, I'm not giving you an actual, this is bad. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I can tell you the facts, which is, their website's been around for 6 months. They are not listed on the BBB, or they are, and their BBB accreditation, they used to be accredited, and now it's been revoked. There is one company in our market that is in fact true. They are a larger company too. So, and they've been around for a while, but just be aware. And there's reasons for that too. If you do enough business, somebody complains. So look how they respond. Even Google complaints. Look how they respond to complaints. Read their Google reviews. Make sure, even if they have a bunch of positive reviews, read them. I've had companies that show up and in 6 months have over 100 reviews in 6 months. And you'll note that a lot of them came all in one day. It's just, and most of the time Google picks that up and then bumps it. But, do your research. Make sure that who's coming to your house, they're going to be inside your house. Make sure you know who they're going to be. For us, we text message you when we're on your way. You get a picture of the technician who's coming. You get a little bio. You get a link so you can click on it and watch people come, kind of like Uber, to your house. When you call our office and schedule an appointment, you're immediately going to get a text message confirmation. You're going to get reminders. We're a company. We have all this structure in place to ensure people do a good job, that we stand behind our warranties. We've been here. You can come to our office. Anybody wants to call, I'll give you, free access to everything we do. If you want to ride along with one of our technicians, we do that for other companies all the time. But before you call someone, especially when we're booking out because everybody needs help, we're trying to help as many people. We're trying to drink out of a fire hose. We're trying to help as many customers as possible. I'm doing a lot of virtuals. I'm answering a lot of questions on Facebook and Instagram and everything else you can think of. I'm trying to get into the neighborhood forums, not to sell stuff, but when someone needs help lighting their pilot, I can walk them through it. We can schedule a Zoom meeting. We can get on a video. I can walk you through it. I can't do an inspection, but I'm trying to help people. I got people who are showing me bids from other companies, helping you. And also referring other companies. There's a company, I'm not going to say names once again, but I said, hey, look, if you're building a new house, these are the people for you. You should call them. That's what they specialize in. If you want something really unique or custom or everything else, that's more of our style. But if you just want, and this is the exact words, I want as cheap as humanly possible. That is not us. I'm going to send you, I don't want you to have false expectations of what we are. We are very, very quality. We do good work. Our people are well trained. They usually stay years. These are not transient kind of employees. They stay years. We have people who've been training for years, who have certifications. It's a different product than someone who goes out and wants to work as cheaply as possible, because our people aren't cheap. They're quality. You can call back and get the same guy again unless something happens. We had someone who had to leave because they had to take over their family's cattle ranch in Nebraska. We had that too. So, hey, happens. But if you have any other questions, please let me know. Be happy if you just send me a message like, hey, what do you know about these people? Because occasionally, even quality companies have bad days. That happens. And I've had to call other owners when I have their customers claiming they're horrible, and I call the owner and then it just gets fixed. That happens too. So if you need help, call me. I'll be happy to let you know, kind of from benefit of my 20 years of experience. Got lots of scars, made lots of mistakes and learned from it. I'm not going to do that again. So if you want the benefit of my experience, call. We have lots of experienced people. Most of them now are better than me in a lot of this stuff. So call us. Be happy to help you. Be happy to vet another company, to look at a bid for you. I always say my advice is always free, but that doesn't mean that when I have to pay someone to go out to someone's house and we have to use equipment and everything else, that's free. That's not. Someone got that misunderstood recently too. But if you want to chat, if we want to schedule a Facebook, we have virtuals. Go to our website, schedule a virtual session. We could jump on a Zoom meeting. You could show me what you're working with. We try to help people as inexpensively as we can, but we hire good people. We have to, and we have insurance, and we have the best equipment, and we have logo trucks and uniforms, and we have to change out our ladders because OSHA says we have to every so often. We want to make sure that everything is as legit as possible, and we give you the most value for your money, not just the cheapest. But if you're looking for the cheapest, I'll send you to that person too. So don't think that's all we do, because if we're not right for you, I'll send you somewhere else. So, and if someone's doing a good job for you, I'll tell you good. I mean, it's awesome for you. So that's it for today. Please like it, share it. This has been, wow, over 25 minutes. It's been a little longer just because of what we're going on with the cold and the amount of people calling and the amount of scam companies right now. And I hate the word scam, but man, there's so many people that are now in the chimney business. The amount of companies in Houston has gone up tremendously. I'm seeing Facebook things from other parts of the country, and they're listing Houston as, look at all these scam companies in Houston. And the major markets are just blowing up with people creating companies just to create leads, or just it's bad. And our city is really into it. Beaumont, not as bad, but it does exist. But Houston is awful. So be careful when you call people. Just because they can be out really fast and they seem nice and they talk well, that doesn't mean that they're good. So if you need help, call us. I'll be happy to help. Just let us know. We're here to help. Our trucks aren't on the road today. I don't know about tomorrow. We just can't afford our people or anybody else getting hurt. So call us. We're happy to help. We'll do everything we can to give you value. So thanks. We will see you next time.